forgot the IG's so small as far as like showing the screen. I did have it customized for IG, but then it's like you're basically ruining the feed for everywhere else. So now I just basically show center frame on what I'm streaming to YouTube. But I just noticed how short this actual window is of what Instagram can see. So it's about these 3 squares over to half of this cut symbol. So I need to try to remember that for keeping things in frame as much as possible, at least. Or you can always check YouTube. So basically what I'm doing is I had already made a drum kit out of the template I was using just by going through and like setting all the sounds that I use and putting it in a folder. Oh, yeah. Get this close. Oh yeah, I'm gonna set a timer too, just so I remember to keep moving. It's easy to waste time and just get bogged down in things versus moving with purpose. So what I was trying to do is take this drum kit that I previously made with the template and update it, because I've gone through like 10 iterations at least on the template that I've used or that I've made for FL for trying to move faster with beats. So I'm going to go through these, put them into these folders. Some of them might be duplicates, so we may just skip that. But basically I just want to make sure we grab everything I've added, because then I'm going to declutter. This is not going to let me do that. Okay, good. Declutter the current template. So yeah, we can just well, just gonna have to keep track of where I am, I guess. All right, so for regular, I had closed, open, beat tag. Excuse me. I'm just gonna put a Z on that. I like to do that whenever I'm dropping something to the bottom of the alphabet order. Don't necessarily need that in a folder. Also, we're gonna do a new one here soon. JDA, what up? My guy Wanda. Just trying to organize my new template I've been working on. Pretty sure we have this in here, but just in case we don't, replace. And then sometimes I hate it if you do like 11, it'll put it up here versus like numerical order. So I'm hoping we don't have to worry about that, because I don't think we. Yeah, we'll change this to perks and perk loops, and then we can do drums and fills for our 10. And if there's any issues, we can reorder it. Drum loops, fills. Put that there. And were there any fills? Yeah. I think that's all I had in there. So now we'll keep that a little more organized. Kick. And then some of these I deleted out of the template too, so we'll want to go through and remove anything if I didn't want to double. I just want to make sure I got it, basically. I think this is in there. Nope. All right. 808s. A lot of these might already be in there. It's from the same template, but I did go in and change things over time. It's like I don't need these loaded every single time, which is what I was doing before. So then my FL Studio's loading already at a deficit. Plus trying to stream and all that on top of it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, just trying to optimize. Basically, the victory was even getting going. I've probably been down sitting here at the computer for like 2 hours trying to like go live, just do it. And I'm like, I haven't even done this template yet. Like, just can't get going. But I know I want to and set pace for the year and everything. Ow. Fuck. My volume's high. So yeah, basically I've been using this template to, I call it SpeedRunning Beats, but SpeedRunning Beats technically is like when they're like remake Soldier Boy in fucking 13 seconds. This is more just like 10-minute beat cookups is what I'm aiming for. They keep running a little bit over, but I know I can get the time down. That's why I'm trying to optimize this stuff more. Like, can see over and over kind of my failure points. Like, if we can just optimize these, we'd probably be good. Crash symbol. What about you? K and Mac, what up? Just organizing some. Well, we're working on an FL Studio template, and I'm optimizing the template slash saving all the sounds that I had preloaded into like a drum kit. That way they're not all loading up every single time. And I've also changed some of the sounds over time, so just making sure we got everything in one folder. And I'm also I want to make sure that I got this like a transition pre-made, like already structured out, so I can adjust it depending on the tempo of the song. I think that's going to be way more effective than what I was doing, which was having the sounds preloaded. Then I'd have to turn them off and on every time, and I'd have to move them because it'd be different. So I'm like, okay, that's too much, wasting too much time. That's where some of our time's going. So this year we optimize. We try to do atomic habits, 1% improvements, just like little tweaks that we can do to take our stuff to the next level this year. So I was thinking about, I'm like, we can't see the future, but we kind of can. So it's like, if you take a look at like the things you're doing, like a lot of it will translate into your results for the year. So it's like, okay, I just intentionally focus. I also got this dope planner coming that I'm excited for, especially with my ADHD. But it's called Full Focus Planner. I haven't got it yet, so I can't comment on it. And one comment said it was only for 3 months. It better not be. It was like $50, but it had like a bunch of prompts and like, what do you want to focus on? Like, what's your streak of continuing on and doing that stuff every day? And just like a lot of good prompts and arranged in a way that I think will be very helpful for me. So I'm excited for that. But I ordered it kind of late, so that hasn't come yet. But kind of all in line with just trying to improve, small improvements. Well, big improvements, but think of them as small. I'm trying to do 10 beats a day. I'm already 9 behind from yesterday, so I need like 19 today, which is ridiculous. I'm already setting myself up for failure. And technically it's not even the new year yesterday, so. And it was some arbitrary thing that I just created, like, I'm gonna do 10 beats. But it is doable. Especially if I do this effectively as quick as possible, take the overthinking out of it, optimize, reassess, optimize. French, what up? We're getting ready for 2024. I've been working on a template. And these are all the sounds from the template. That way we can delete a bunch of the stuff from the template so it's not loading up every time, because I'm just using this MacBook Air, which has been crazy good value, but it does have some limitations. Like right now when I'm streaming and recording and working inside of FL Studio, like 2.5 gigs of the 8 gigabytes of RAM are already being used up just on FL Studio, which I shouldn't be able to do most of what I can do with this little laptop, honestly. Pretty far. And then once I get through here, I'll declutter the template, and then I'll be able to get back to the cookups, aiming for 10 minutes, 10, 15. Yeah, the more we optimize, the easier it's going to be and the better we're going to get. So that's the point. It's like then when I had everything accessible to me, it's like too many options. These are all things I've went through and been like, oh yeah, those are dope. Some of them I don't end up actually using, so still gonna continue to change, but trying to find the best, easiest workflow. It was funny. I've also had the Akai Fire for FL Studio, the MPK most of us have. And I actually unplugged both of them. Like they're slowing me down. Like the Akai Fire, I was getting back into for a second, and it could be dope, especially like once I optimize the template for it. But I was just like, even using the MPK, I noticed it's just like, especially I just learned you can come over here and use your type to keyboard, so your physical typing keyboard. You just hit this, turn it on, right click, say you want E minor, boom, now you can use this. That was on actual sound. now you can't hit a wrong key. So I'm like, okay, I don't even need a MIDI controller. The keyboard's better than a MIDI controller. And it's right there. I don't have to mess with another piece of hardware. Even though I want a cool piece of hardware, it's like, man, if I do just use that, and the thing I do miss is having the mouse buttons programmed, which I did on PC, and it worked good. It's faster than trying to use the keyboard commands to do it. And I can never remember. So I'm like, I need to get these buttons programmed again. So I have my cut tool, pencil tool, and select all tool within these 3 buttons on my mouse. When I have that, that'll speed up probably like 3 minutes per session just to fucking switch in between those damn tools. Come on. And this is I wanted to get this done, and it was like I was just sitting here not doing it, putting it off. Like, you know what? I was just remembering the saying and telling myself sayings I need to remember this year. And one of them is getting started is the hardest part. Well, we should redo it. Getting started is the hardest yet easiest part. That's what we should say. Because it's like, it's not always hard. It's just like, I'm not ready to go live. You know, I'm not ready to start on this template. Versus just being like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna go live and they can watch me do my files, you know? It's like, at least I started. Which means I'm streaming, which means I'm actually doing what I meant to do. So like it all kind of works together. We're getting close. I just want to be done, get to actual music making. But this stuff helps. I think we're gonna move a lot faster. Because I had so much stuff loaded up, sometimes it just take a minute for FL Studio to load. Yeah, give me some chunks. I want to make beats. And then what I think I'm going to do is, because I do like how everything's loaded and kind of pre-mixed already, which is a time saver. But some of it's doing too much. So I'm going to see if we can maybe load one instance of each pre-mixed, like if you have to adjust the ADSR like on the 808s and whatnot. I think if you drop it into the channel rack where that adjusted file was, it'll adjust some of those parameters, I think. And if so, then if we had one preloaded, we could just drag a new one on top of it, and that would speed up our workflow because we wouldn't have 100 different sounds, but we could also keep them pre-mixed and on designated tracks, versus if you bring them in by themselves, they won't have a track mixer track designation yet. And then sometimes I just overthink it and create work for myself. So hopefully this is all actually helping in the long run. I think it is. My beat count's way up. way up. So that's something. and I've been streaming because of it, and because Instagram also just added it. We're getting close. Let's go. But yeah, all these were loading every single time, saving to every project. Little much. Yeah. Love groups of them. It's like, man, that could be a use those FX, a one shot, or a like impact. That bell. Boom. Put transitions in here too. We're getting close. Yes. All right. Whew. So now that should have all of our main kind of go-tos that we've chosen so far. We want to make this 9, probably. This 10. And this has my MIDI in there in case I need to move fast. Use some stuff I've already made in the past. And yeah. So that's optimized now. So this is the template we've been using. I start everyone with a reminder of what I'm doing. So we have this little note in here telling us what we're going to do. So we're going to try to do the 10-minute cookups 10 times a day. That would be 3,660 beats because it's a leap year. And then, yeah, just Atomic Habits, improve 1% daily. Sleepy Samurai, what up? So that'll load every time. I also went into options in this file settings window, and it has external tools, and I loaded the Curtis King beat timer. So this will launch when FL Studio launches. And then also I noticed it up in the little toolbar drop down area under, what was it? Tools, and then at the very bottom it says external tools. You can't see it on Instagram probably, but down at the bottom it says external tools and then beat timer, and then now I can just click it from within within FL Studio, and it would launch this Curtis King beat timer, which I like even having that running now just to remind me like, yo, move. Hey, yeah, we got some colors going over here. Also, YouTube has a better view, but we're multicasting. Actually, I should check what that even looks like. Yeah, not bad. I'm with it. All right, so this is what I had before as far as the template, everything preloaded, which is overkill. So we're gonna consolidate this a bit. I also had like a bunch of crashes and stuff in here, and my beat tag that's getting a little messy. So we're actually going to do a new arrangement. Let's actually delete these. This will be all right. We're gonna delete these. We don't need them anymore. I'll try to make it so Instagram can see it a little better. So this is where we had our whole layout kind of pre-done before. Some things have been slowing me down, and one thing I did in the past actually was useful. So I'm gonna see if I still have that. Basically, I made a transition. I thought it was here, but cheat codes. So basically what I did is I made this transition, put it to 174 BPM, which is where I was making most of my beats at. And if you put it to the tempo in FL Studio and then put it on stretch mode, it will, now we can like change the BPM. And as long as this doesn't sound super wonky, we should just be able to use this every single time, which will speed up things. Still sounds fine, so that works perfect. So I think that'll be good. So now every time that'll load at the top and we won't have to worry about it. You can also color it, which I should have right there, but I didn't. We're just sticking with our color scheme for now. Oh, that's fucking yeah, here with that shit. Alright, so boom. That'll be preloaded as well as our beat tag, which we're gonna change. I probably should just start from scratch on most of this stuff, honestly, because the mixer is out of control. Hey, my guy popped over to YouTube for that full view. King of the Melody on IG, what up? But yeah, you can see a lot more on YouTube. I had it adjusted for Instagram, but then it seemed like a waste when it's better to have the full screen. So I wish I could send out a different feed to Instagram with it condensed. That'd be the best way, but I don't think Restream has that. So all this stuff preloaded before. I think I'm gonna go ahead and delete it so we can really start from scratch. I had a lot of the stuff pre-mixed and set to where I wanted it, which is why I'm hesitant. Let's actually do this first. We'll keep these 6 because they're different kinds of basses. And we'll keep this 808. Option up to move it, I believe. And then all these we can delete. And then basically I just want one of each. That's our 5-minute timer to remind us to keep moving as my watch says I need to stand up. So that's what we're doing. What if we stand up and smoke break? Get a couple steps in, stand up, move around, and smoke? Can he do it? He's going for the championship. He's trained all year for this. He's got the seasoned lungs. You could tell they're a little weathered. Hey, I like that solidarity, my guy. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying, though. I'll be like at the computer for hours. I need that watch reminder. What you smoking on, my guy? Nothing satisfies me these days. Well, that's a lie. The Redbird Dosey Pop you put me on. But then, of course, I didn't double up when I should have. I just tried a bunch of flavors, including Dosey Pop. And then it was so good, and then it was gone. Now I can't find it anywhere. And nothing else is super holding up. Although I keep going back to this, what, NW's CS, I think, is labeling the soap, which I know for a fact some of their strains aren't what the like known strain is. Like they tried That one over here says Scooby Snacks, and it's like Face Off OG times whatever. When it's like a Kim Dog clone only, like uh, phenotype. So yeah, you gotta watch. But their soap, what they call the soap, not soap. The soap is Animal Mints times Kush Mints. I like a lot of things that are Kush Mints, like Bubba Smash. Ooh, XJ13 from Knott's and some gelato runs from Artisan. Haven't tried either of those. I should probably try since you put me on. Redbird. XJ13 Classic. Jack Harrer Sativa type strains. Dude, stretched my hamstrings for sure. Literally, you must be reading my mind. I got cramps lately. I haven't been drinking water. I've been not doing great. I'm like, what the hell? Like, wake up in the night with a cramp. Like, ooh. Been feeling it as I'm moving around. All right, I need one more smoke and then we'll finish this up here. Mm. I need some that's clean, smooth, and I can taste it in my soul. Like, taste it with my lungs type shit. That's what I'm in it for. And that dosey pop. I need that. Alright. So we'll keep one of these kicks and delete the rest. And like I said, I need a mute button. Oh shit, I need to get that stream deck set up or use my tablet I never use. Damn, I'm about to have to do that here in a second. That'll probably be more useful than a MIDI controller. Fuck, I was gonna say something. Can't remember if it was about this or not. No, I was going to mention that I want to be able to load these in the same. Alright. We're taking forever. I want to be able to load the sounds from the drum kit into a channel that's already set up. Fuck, man, we might have to do this from scratch. Yeah, fuck it. As I start from the template again like an idiot. But look how long this takes to load, which it's running super fast too. Load like 8 VSTs, all 100 plus drum sounds, but then I'd be ready to go, you know? So I do like some of this. Some of it I don't want to deal with, like setting up again, but it's not that big of a deal. And it's just going to be cleaner because we still have most of the stuff we need. Father Juan, Damata Beats, what up? We're optimizing for 2024. I'll try to show what I can on IG, but we're also streaming the full screen to YouTube as well. So we had a template set up before. We're going to change it a bit or start from scratch, but I already know how it was set up. So we're recreating it basically. I also want to, oh, this is a dope feature as well. You can open the parent folder, but like in the system itself, which is what I just did. I don't know where it went, but right click, system, open parent folder. So boom, now I can take this and copy it to our master SpeedRunning drum kit and put it in our transitions. That way it's actually with our files that we're using, or with our drum kit in the template we're building, versus this is in another folder of mine. This one's on the system itself, so I do want to... Why is there no beat tag? Let's reload that real quick. We'll make sure that our beat tag and all the other sounds have repopulated. It's gonna load up with the template again because I have it set to default. But yeah, little shit like this is what I'm trying to avoid. But now I'm like, okay, basically I should be doing 3 minutes on the melodies and the bass line, 3 minutes on the drums, and 3 minutes on arrangement. Some of it's wishful thinking, and some of it it's just kind of like a time marker, but I can see when I'm like kind of sticking to a schedule and when I'm not, as far as like sometimes it'll be because I'm tired, or sometimes I just like, yeah, usually it's when I'm tired. I'm like not moving with as much purpose, so like, okay, it's a challenge. So those failures basically helping me analyze. FL Studio is still opening. There we go. So let's do ourselves a favor. Let's go option, file settings, or general settings. Fuck, I closed all these or changed the view, I think. There we go. So I want to just do an empty template for now. That way if we get restarted, we'll be good. All right. So new, empty. We'll save this. Oh, that's wrong. We're in 2024. And then I also want to make sure it has the 384 time base on it, so we can zoom in a little bit further on the playlist to get finer detail. And I do want it to copy new project folder, also copy all the samples so it's all enclosed together. And then I do want it to show every time because I want to make sure that we're doing all this and naming it. So in this case, we're just doing a template, starting from scratch again. One thing that I like with this, when you are starting from scratch, is whatever these channels are set to, it will color this mixer. And you can do a gradient on the channels, but you can't on the mixer unless you route it after you've set it up on the channels. So you'll see what I'm talking about. But I should think this out. How do I want to have this set up for maximum efficiency? So I always like to put my little playlist to the right, as small as possible, zoomed into the loop that we'll be playing, which typically I go 64 bars, which is enough to see on my screen. Is like one loop with 4 snares or claps typically. It can vary. So this is right now. It has my beat tag, which we'll need. So we'll put that in there. Then we'll also do our transitions, which this is the cashmere one that I'll put this back in the middle for IG. This is the one I pre-made, so I'll want to put it to 174 BPM. Click into it, stretch mode, and then now we can set it to whatever tempo we want and it'll adjust, and our transitions will always be when the song drops, pre-hook, hook, pre-hook, hook, pre-hook, hook, slash outro, basically. That might be 2 verses. I don't know. I think I set it up for my song pitches at first. Either way, we can adjust it later on if we need to. So those are our 2 main staples that are always going to be there. Probably have the beat tag. Usually comes in somewhere around here. We could just have those muted. Then this will be our main pattern. Which will be down here. Basically, we'll start each song looping right here. Could do 128 bars if we want, which I kind of want to start working in 8-bar loops, but I like having it this size and just having to do it once where you can see it versus scrolling all the way over and all that. We are trying to keep it fast, so. Trying to think of how to set this up because it's more convenient to build it all in the same pattern, but then we have to split it. Oh, no, we don't necessarily. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So there's a couple ways to do it, and I'm thinking maybe I'll do it like, so this will have all the elements on it, and you won't want it to have all the elements necessarily. So probably be like that. So what I'm thinking is if we do it like the full pattern like this instead. Well, no, I shouldn't worry about that because we'll have to change it later. But basically it'd be like intro, build up, might have a little more in it than the first part of the verse, which may have some elements dropped out, another 4-bar segment, which would normally you'd cut something out or like introduce an element, same thing, and then pre-hook and then the hook. So these two would be the same, and then this would repeat. What we can do instead of like going through each time and editing, we could go make unique. It would make this pattern a duplicate of everything that we did in here, and then we could just erase some things real quick. And the upside of that would be that this is already structured, kind of. You would just have to go and click, make the adjustment, click. That could take some additional time though, versus just some things we just need to be fast and proficient with. So I think that is doing too much. So we'll just do this full pattern here. It'll be looped. We'll build our pattern. We'll get everything down. And we just hit split by channel, copy, paste, 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 do one rendition of it. Probably take 45 seconds, you know, if we get fast at it. So not the end of the world. At least we have the transitions, which is going to slide with the tempo every time now and be more on than it was. It's definitely something that was slowing me down before, so don't have to worry about that. So now we just need to drop in basically one of everything we use. So I'm going to start with the VSTs, which is usually Serum for me. And before I had like 8 things loaded up, this time I might just start with Serum or Serum, a couple instances of it, and we'll have to see. I also need to go through these additional splice sounds presets that I've downloaded, sort through them and put them in their own file folders like I did here, because that saves me time knowing that these are organized how I'd organize them. So we're normally starting like kind of a pad vibe. That's always a good one. So that'll be kind of our starting melodic element. I usually will do another instance of Serum for the lead, another instance of Serum for either a bass and or an 808 and or Reese synth bass. So we'll have this one be our Serum pad. Kind of locked into whatever whatever you set as standard. This will be our Serum lead. And I tried it without having these preset, and it didn't seem to save CPU, and it took me longer to get a vibe going. So I like loading with stuff in there already. So boom, and then this would be our go-to 808, which is typically this one, I think. It's harsh is what it's called. Yeah. So that'll be our Serum 808 or Reese. So that means that'll be our 808 or another slot that we could easily use for this type of bass. That type of bass. So we'll have that loaded to the 808 because I use that more often. And then that should work for like our melodic section. And then if I want to add anything extra, I'll just do clones, duplicate it, and do it from there. So we're not using CPU. And also I noticed I wanted to put the bass with the instruments as well, just because it is a melodic instrument. It makes sense to have those close together. I'd find that I was kind of jumping between everything. Hey, what up? Everyone on IG. We're also on YouTube where you can see the full screen. It's a little hard to show everything on IG, but we're getting everything optimized for 2024. I've been using this template and we're kind of rebuilding it, taking away all the fucking excess that I loaded into it. I had like hundreds of sounds and too many VSTs. So we got 3 instances of Serum. That's good enough for me. We got our beat tag, our transitions pre-made. This was blank, so we can delete that. And then now it's our drum sounds. Oh, we can also do one shots, but I think, no. Before I have these preloaded, we're not going to worry about that. I barely use them. They're there if we need them. I might add some more to these later, or maybe put like the full kits even kind of tucked in there. So for 808, we'll use the one we use most often. That'll be our 808 channel. We'll use the clap we use most often. Where's my butter? Actually been using this a lot though too. Open hat. Oh fuck, we put 2 plucks in perk area, which it shouldn't be. And those should be there actually. So we'll have that for our perk, but we could also drag in more or replace with some other stuff. And kick. And then crashes impacts we won't really need because we pre-did it. That should be, oh yeah, put it in multiple places. So I use a sound like that often. I'm basically gonna, well, they're all gonna be blank, but that's just a placeholder so I remember, hey, we can also throw some effects in there. We probably do it more in the playlist, or we could do it while we're building this up. And then just like a box.
Hey!
That. So after that, I'll do like one of my fills. Again, that's just a placeholder to show hey, you can do fills here, remember? And then also drum loop that I commonly use to, hey, sometimes it calls for a drum loop, like you're looking for that certain bounce, something I can grab real quick and just remind myself, oh yeah, drum loops. And then MIDI, we know that pretty much. We could even just do a sampler. We'll just call it MIDI, so it'll be blank. And all this is like all we need, all on one rack now, not hundreds of sounds. I can build it, replace things out quick. And then what I'm hoping is that we can do stuff like this, which I thought worked before. So do the standard corrections to the 808. I've been jacking mine up over here lately. Then turning it down to compensate. And Actually, I'm gonna do a -6, but we're gonna do like -9. So, to test, if we now drop a different 808 in here, will it keep those adjustments? It did. Yes. Which is clutch. So because it saved those properties, this will now save us time. This will be on a designated mixer track for the 808, and it can have its processing, sidechain, anything that we need set up on it. And it's already going to be at level. So this is just to test levels because we want to get it pre-dialed in. The lovely, what up? I'm also on YouTube as well. You can see the full screen way better. But, oh yeah, we need to remember to cut this, and that should stay closer to where we had it. Oh yeah, we went full volume, so we need to bring it down even more now. Get it to that -9 I was looking for. All right, so now we can do our clap. And then we're going to want that to be close. A little lower, probably. Alright, so that's, oh yeah, I forgot. I was doing this on all of them, so I'm probably going to do that again because I liked how it sounded. Just boost the shit out of it, then reduce the volume. I didn't do the 808s when I actually had a rhythm. We'll actually route these a little bit later. This is just to balance everything initially. We'll do 32 for now so it loops faster. I can get the hi-hat in here. Same thing, except we should have copied from the previous one. We'll do it here for next time. It's 147%. Copy value. So we can paste it on the next one. But let's set the cut on this and the volume. Also want to put these back how they were, how it. Okay, so that's good. We can do our open hat. Same thing. Except now we can paste the value. That boosts up our volume. That's already a 2 bar, so that's probably going to work in a lot of cases, but typically we'd want to come in here and change this just like an 808. So then we can come in here and actually have this close when we wanted to. And we're actually kind of lucky because if you do it just like a stab note, it plays it like normal, just the full length. But if you do it anything different than that, it plays the length. So it does what we want in both scenarios, which is good. So if we just click it in there, it works. Or if we want to go in there and adjust it to cut off, it will. And anything that we drag in there is going to continue to have those properties. So we could switch out sounds, keep them on the same mixer tracks, and we'll be good. Oh yeah, the Lovely's in, or she was in here. I'm like, that just reminded me I should be hitting that mono on the 808. Nate, what up? Take it out of this compact view. Alright, so now it's 100% merged in mono. Alright, so I like that as far as pre-mix. Then we'll get this kicked out in. Fuck, I forgot the... good. Just forgot on this, which isn't too important. It's kind of giving it basically like a saturation almost. It's like a preamp gain when you do the volume that way through here. Feels like it makes it a little beefier, but not like over the top. Probably notice it with the kick, which we might have to switch back to my actual favorite here. Actually, this hits good. So come in here, boost it, and reduce it. So keep that one, that works for me. Let's get it to about the same as the 808, which we're going a little bit less than normal. What's funny, it might be my old age or something, but I started getting in the car and I'm like feeling my kicks when they're like way too sauced, like way too loud, hitting like super hard. I'm like, this shit's annoying as fuck. Like pounding on my ears, like I can't even listen to this shit. So you want it to slap, but it doesn't need to be like fucking stupid. There's levels for a reason, and like gain staging. Like as I mix more and more, starting to realize like it's more about preserving the natural dynamics and not squashing it as much as possible. Except for like 808s and all that shit. It's good to have all that smacking from the beginning, but not to like a this is compressed, this is compressed, this is compressed. And we probably don't need to do it stuff like this, but hey, why not? I also need to get new headphones. Make sure that cuts itself. Make sure that cuts itself, although it rarely is an issue. Okay. So boost it, reduce it. We're just putting them to these mixer tracks for now. We'll adjust it here in a second after we color everything. Alright, that's a good level for that. If we wanted to have a fill, this won't, it might work. So we'd come in here, do the same thing. This one, we want like this too. I probably won't use that too often, but it's in there in case we need it, and to remind myself that we can use fills if we need to. Then the Smack and DJ Pain 1. Want to turn points. Oh, that's why. Never done it with the drum loop. Let's see. Trying to level this about the same. We're gonna actually since he's already processed this drum loop, I'm not gonna do the boost. This already always works when I throw it on a song. So that's about the same if we were to use the drum loop instead of our own drums. So that'll save us time and remind us that I went back to the starting waveform of all these. Just to keep it clean. All right. Getting closer. All right, and then MIDI to remind us of MIDI. I think that's it. So, I put these last. And I've been liking docking this master to the right. So it'll be close to all my try to think, wait, did I like that or not? If I keep it to the right, when I collapse this whole mixer, I can see what I need to in the master good. I guess I can see it when it's docked to the left as well. What did we have last time? We had master. We had our reverb bus, our delay bus, and we had a sample processing one. I feel like there was something else we were doing. I don't know. We'll keep it how it used to be for now. We'll move it back. So dock to the left, standard mixer. We'll turn these off of mono for now. Make sure this is in the order that we want everything for our template. So it's going to go chord progression, lead, 808 or respace, or one shot 808. Need to remember also that we can use one shots for the melody, but I really rarely do, so we'll just have to remember it by looking at our drum kit. Let's just take these all off the mixer tracks. The volumes are all set. Oh, fuck. What was that? The lead? Oh, that's okay. So that was the only one I accidentally actually touched the mixer volume. So these are all at 0. All of our adjustments have been on the channel rack volume and within the sound itself, which means it doesn't matter where we route it, it'll all be right. So how do we want to color this? Because we can do a gradient. I'll probably just do the colors of this template I'm using. We'll start with the purple going over to the teal. That's fire. Okay. And we want this back at 64 bars. And now, with all this selected, we're going to come over here, right click, check on Instagram real quick. Like, if no one's watching anyway, I'm not going to care about keeping it on the screen. I can't tell. So yeah, we won't care about it too much. Tap in on YouTube if you like seeing everything. All right. So we right click on the first mixer track, channel routing, route selected channels starting from this track. And now we have the whole color scheme on our mixer too. Boom. We can make our master. Actually do that, the teal, so it stands out. Need to figure out what the purpose of this one is. It's what exports as current, and I always delete it. It's like basically attached to the master channel. I don't know. Okay, so these will be our melodic elements. So I'm gonna highlight all these, right click. No, we don't want separator. I think I want a group. Don't want to create a group in the channel though. And if you rename this, it doesn't rename the group, it renames the channel. So we don't want that, but there we go. So now all these 4 melodic items are kind of in their own area. Then it's basically just everything else. Box, tag. Let's see which mixer view is going to be best for us. make these easier on myself to read. Get closer to the 808, and if I move it now, the coloring will be off a little bit. So, let's see. Yeah, just keep it where it is. So say FX. Or not, oh, fill. This MIDI one, we're just gonna restore its default because we don't need the MIDI. We just wanted to remember that we can use these MIDI over here from my pack. So I think this is gonna help us. I want to start with my metronome on. We'll be doing hi-hat. I think I previously had the hi-hat routed, or the metronome routed somewhere. That was the other element, was the metronome, so it wasn't as annoying. So we'll do that to 16. So now this will be our metronome. And then we'll group these because they're more like the drum main stuff. These will be like maybes, so they'll be their own group. The tag transition will be their own group. And then the metronome will be its own group. And the metronome, we can dock to the left. It's still on 16, good. But now we have our metronome and it won't be super annoying. So we will want to start with no patterns in there on our melodic element in song mode on our main pattern with it selected. I think we need to adjust the tag volume.
Boy, that's 90.
is coming in this.
Boy, that's an idea. Boy, that's an idea.
Alright, that works.
Boy, that's an idea. Boy, that's an idea. Boy, that's an idea. Boy, that's an idea. Boy, that's an idea.
Oh, that's what current is. So that'll just be muted to. Or no, we don't need to because we're doing a 64. Cool. So we can actually keep all that stuff on. Every time we load, it's just going to loop right there. Nothing will be loaded yet. I'll be on my melodic element. We will have this. Oops. Collapsed. And over to the right. Mixer over there too. Only needs to be, I'm sure we'll add elements. So. Keep those uncolored just so we know that nothing new, or that they're new. So keep it maybe open to there. On our, we should save this. We've been working on it quite some time. Also, I'm going to need to go back and copy paste what I had wrote on that note. Also, we've been throwing the soft clipper on there. And yeah, Fruity Notepad 2. Or Notebook 2. We'll have to copy that, but that loads up and reminds me of the mission. And then, oh yeah, we also take the mix down. -7, give it some headroom. All right, so this will be over to the side. Zoomed into just our loop to start, and then we can pull it out when we're ready. And man, we're still coming in at 2.5. That doesn't make sense. Maybe that's just what FL Studio uses, because that is not considerably less than what we had when everything was loaded. I think it'll work a lot faster though. Okay, don't really need to name anything. That's the main pattern, which we could color at least. Yeah, I need to program the fucking mouse buttons, which is a whole thing with Mac, so we'll have to figure that out some other time. Probably have to buy an app to get one that actually works. I think I did a trial on one, it worked, and then it stopped working, but if I can click, cut, select all, cut, and pencil tool, all with the 3 buttons on my mouse, things get considerably quicker. So that's a must coming soon. But yeah, I think this would be it. And then we would open to our drum kit with our one-shots open to remind us. We can also start with stuff like that. We'll add some more in there over time. Then if we don't like any of the stuff we're using, we have other stuff. So now we want to keep that open. One shots and scrolled up. Save. All right, I think this is our new template. It only took 47 minutes, plus I've been sitting here for a while, so who even knows if that's true. So we want to save as a template. Shout out to Mr. Robot. That's why I'm naming shit all weird. Alright, so now we'll change our options, file settings. Instead of empty, we'll load version 11 of our template. We'll save this. We need to open the one I had previously worked on, which I think is the most updated Notepad note. And then we'll have everything we need once that's copied over to actually speedrun beats, hopefully a lot faster. Ah, it wasn't on this one. Damn it. Oh, it was probably on that. Yeah, look at all these sounds loading. Won't have all of that every time, at least. I do want to copy the. Oh, man. Oh, because I had exited it out. Man, that sucks. I'm gonna check the backup files, maybe. I don't want to retype that shit. Come on, let's go. Work smarter, not harder. Yes. All right. All right, so then every time let's save this. So now every time we load it up, it'll start right here. Okay, at least it reminds me. Sometimes it'll launch the beat timer, but since we didn't launch Pro Tools, it didn't. But we actually already have it out here. So boom, that reminds us. We set our timer. Then I start my watch timer. Boom. So yeah, that should remind us what the goal is, what we're supposed to be doing, and how to accomplish it. We're coming in at 3 gigabytes already of RAM. I don't know how that works, but let's give it a try. Actually make some beats here. Get FL Studio loaded. This back to it. Oh, I feel tired. Tired. The studio isn't starting any faster. That's for fucking sure. Thought for sure that would be part of it. Might just be that we're streaming and I'm gonna need a faster computer. I got this other laptop over here, but it's like a whole thing to try to use a second laptop or a second PC. But we gotta elevate this year. All right, it's open. Being weird. Apple. Dude. I'm using the stage manager mode, which on Apple has some advantages and some disadvantages. So I'm trying to get my screen all organized real quick. Matter of fact, now that we're actually to let's see how it's doing. If we're still streaming all right, I'll just keep it going. Let's see how it's doing. Sounded good. Fuck it. Whew. Think I'm set up to finally make a fucking beat. And hopefully be much faster, because one, I've been fucking fiddle farting around, and two, we got lofty goals. I'll just also just feel like I can't get going necessarily. But one of my things to remember for the year is starting's the hardest part, but also the easiest. It's a brain melter for you. Life wisdom. All right. Let's see if all that was worth it. Did we improve our speed significantly? That's the question. First one's always a little hard, but let's check our project. I know it'll say we've already been working for 2 minutes, so remember that when we check our time. Start 3-minute and 20-second timer. We'll start our timer here. So read our note, launch beat timer, boom, boom, chord progression, lead, counter, melody, and then bass by the first timer. So that's quick. We need to get going. Also, we could set our song key up here. We're in E minor. Let's just start with that and set our scale mode to match. And remember that we're most efficient with no MIDI controller, just our regular keyboard and all this. So. I need to figure out how to make sure it doesn't do that. It's super fucking annoying. So we're gonna make the length longer. So we wanna make sure we highlight this and mute those now since they would play. Remember, we gotta keep moving. Put this on snap to scale. We can move this. It'll stay in key. Alright, we're falling behind right now. That's first timer. We should be done with our melody by now. And bass and everything. keep going. We're falling behind. That's the 5-minute marker. Not the best, but okay.
Boy, that's nice. Boy, that's nice. $18. We can definitely do better. Listen to what we did. We got one done yesterday. Slacking, man. We also had some dogs to babysit, and they did not like the fireworks, so didn't do my night session. Boy, that's nice. Yeah. but it's like, say I spent an hour more on each of them, but it amount to that much better of a beat versus like touching this up, you know, fresh later or passing it off to someone else to finish up. On to the next. Now that that's saved, let's see if we can do better. Start 3-minute 20-second timer. Alright, we need the chord progression and all our melodic elements in 3 minutes. We said we were going to do D sharp. Let's turn our type to keyboard on, change our octave lower, D sharp, minor, and then come in piano roll, make sure everything matches. D sharp, minor. Make an R&B banger is what I'm feeling. Something nice and easy. You could do a little 2-chord Ace Music, what up? Losing it. But yeah, I like his attention. Music, what up? Keep going to longer patterns. Minutes, not bad.
Boy, that's nice.
Now we're cooking. Glaze, what up? Like, man, I need to piss. I'm also like, shit, if we can do one in 13 minutes, I might not need to piss first. I should. With the smoke, with the smoke. I think next we might do like a epic boom bap beat, which is gonna take some more work on the melody side of it, but we'll save it by just using a DJ Pan One drum loop that always works. Should probably piss before I start. We've been here a while. We'll do that. I'll play a beat that we made. We've been going in lately, so we have our choices.